which all states, including Bangladesh, now support, is Article 37, affirming that, quote, indigenous peoples have the right to the recognition, observance, and enforcement of treaties, agreements, and other constructive arrangements concluded with states or their successors, and to have states honor and respect such treaties, agreements, and other constructive arrangements, end quote. Further, the preamble of the Declaration emphasizes, quote, the contribution of demilitarization of the lands and territories of indigenous peoples to peace, economic and social progress and development, understanding and friendly relations among nations and peoples of the world. We highlight these essential provisions as directly relevant to the continuing failure of Bangladesh to fully implement the Chittagong Hill Tracts Accord of 1997. For example, according to the Chittagong Hill Tracts Accord, all of the approximately 500 temporary military camps, with the exception of the border guard camps and 6 cantonments, were to be withdrawn in phases. We are very concerned to learn that only 71 camps have been withdrawn in the 14 years since the accord was concluded, and that the military has expropriated thousands of additional acres of land to expand or construct military camps and facilities throughout the Chittagong Hill Tract. In addition, on the basis of the 2001 executive order for Operation Uttaran, the military has continued aggressive, quote, anti-insurgency, end quote, operations and intervened in virtually all aspects of civil administration. Military operations in indigenous villages have led to violence against innocent villagers. In addition, rape, sexual violence, and other forms of assault continue against indigenous women in violation of a number of human rights instruments, including CEDAW, ICERD, and Article 22 of the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Indigenous peoples have called attention to the oppressive culture of impunity throughout the Chittagong Hill Tracts. The Global Indigenous Peoples Caucus also expressed concern that although a special autonomous governance system was to be established on the basis of this Chittagong Hill Tracts Accord, to this day none of the administrative powers such as general administration, law and order, local police, and land administration have been transferred to the Hill District Councils. Further, administrative measures required by the government of Bangladesh to enable the Indigenous Regional Council to perform the intended supervising and coordinating role over the Hill District Councils and the local administration have not been implemented. As a result, the local administration continues to issue leases for vast amounts of land to influential outsiders without consulting the indigenous headmen and circle chiefs as required. In response to this ongoing critical situation, we make the following recommendations. 1. That the UN Permanent Forum recommend to the government of Bangladesh to withdraw all temporary military camps and end the de facto military rule under Operation Uttaran. 2. That the Permanent Forum urge the government of Bangladesh to end the culture of impunity and to punish those responsible for arson attacks, torture, sexual assault, and other human rights abuses in the Chittagong Hill Tracts, and to also provide safeguards for the independence and function of the judiciary in the CHT. 3. That the Permanent Forum recommend to the government of Bangladesh to transfer all stipulated authorities to the Hill District Councils and Regional Council, and to pass an act of parliament to give legal force to the transfer of powers. 4. That the Permanent Forum recommend that the United Nations Department of Peacekeeping Operations establish a robust human rights screening mechanism to prevent military personnel guilty of human rights violations at home from participating in the UN peacekeeping operations in other countries. And 5, finally, to reiterate 2 previous proposals made at this session by indigenous peoples, that the Permanent Forum include in its future work a comprehensive discussion on indigenous peoples' understanding and interpretation of treaties, agreements, and other constructive arrangements, and that the Permanent Forum support work for the 3rd UN Seminar on Treaties, Agreements, and Other Constructive Arrangements which could invite the indigenous peoples of the Chittagong Hill Tracts and the government of Bangladesh to provide updates and progress on the full and effective implementation of the 1997 Accord. Thank you.
Thank you for